The January transfer window is open and I found a crazy player I wanted to sign. This guy, Eric Eckerby, available as a free agent because his contract was running out. The bad news, he turned me down to go from Vitesse and join Arsenal on a free at the end of his contract. I threw all the money I could at this guy. If we signed him, I'd be sat here thinking, we're going to win the league. Instead, whilst we're top, I'm going to wonder what if forever. This guy would have been a crazy signing. Literally one of the best free agents I think I've seen ever come up in FM this year. And while the transfer window is open, and I wish I could tell you I've got loads of deals lined up, I haven't, sadly. In fact, there's no transfers in, one transfer out. Abassi has finally left the building. We didn't make a profit on him, I'm afraid to say. And whilst I did confirm the signing of Saud Ali here, it's not the most exciting of signings, is it? Another backup Saudi goalie. Al-Rashidi, our number one goalie, has actually become the Saudi Arabia national team goalie, which is amazing. The bad news is he's unavailable for arguably one of the biggest games of the season today. And that game is a rematch. We are taking on Al-Shabab. Now, we did take them on at the start of the week, and for that, I am sorry, but this game's huge. I think we played 8 or 9 league games since you were last here. We're top of the league. We're 2 points ahead of Al-Fire, who have played 2 games more. Beat Al-Shabab today, and we're in a crazy spot. Lose against them today, they'd only be 2 points behind us. And if we do just look at the league table in a little bit more detail, the only game they've lost all year was against ourselves. We're going to try and do the double over them today. We've also got some cup action to look forward to. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? And happy Thursday. I hope you guys are doing amazing. And some good news, the injuries have slowed down a little bit here in Saudi Arabia. Of course, last episode we took on Al Tawoun and Al Ettifaq. We got great wins there. There was a draw in between that I don't want to dwell on too much. Since then, a load of wins and just 1 defeat. We've navigated ourselves through not 1, but 2 rounds of the King's Cup since you were last here. We beat Alma, who were a 4th division team. Al-Shabab, the centre mid, got like a 10-minute hat-trick in this game. Played pretty well. And after that, against Al-Khorkab, who played in the division below us, we won 5-2. Another convincing performance. It was 3-0 at half-time. Onana with a really nice man of the match. This guy, he's ticking along. He's kind of not the star of the show, but he loves to make a cameo. Anyway, in terms of league matches since you were last here, we actually got off to back-to-back wins. 4 goals scored in each of these, but in the very next game, well, we didn't win. Al Rayyan, to be fair, were in a great spot just a few game weeks ago. They've actually gone on to lose 3 of their last 4 games. Granted, some difficult games in here, including against today's opposition for ourselves. With a media prediction of 4th and their 4th kind of league position currently, maybe not the worst game to lose. They actually scored within a minute of this game. They caught us with our high line and Kritsov with a really nice finish. From there, though, we looked to fight back. And, well, we started to mount a comeback. We got a goal through Solis, and I did wonder if it was going to be our day, if we were going to make something happen. But having got this goal, which, let's be honest, was a banger, we had a man sent off. And then, well, whilst down a man, they managed to reinstate the lead. Just 9 minutes left of the game as Al Sadani was played in on the left-hand side. Piccoli with a deflected pass. And well, he scored. There's not much more to be said. You'll never guess who got sent off. Ibrahim Mohammed. This man loves to get sent off, it turns out. From there, though, we have had 4 Saudi League games. You'll note that whilst we had a load of games in December, there's actually been a big gap recently where I even organised a friendly midway through. But convincing wins here, 2 clean sheets in 4-0 wins, and also 2 games where we scored 5 goals. If there's one thing we've struggled for since we switched to the 4-2-4, it's not scoring goals. We've got a lot. I will say that Piccoli, who scored the winning goal against us for Al Rayyan, is the top goal scorer in the league. Unfortunately, Florentin Carr has dropped down the order just a little. Now, in this transfer window, I have been looking at options out there because there's a little bit of transfer budget and a little bit of wage budget. But of course, we're already at the limit when it comes to foreign players. So realistically, only really Saudi players I can look for. And, well, Saudi players are just a cost of premium. It's kind of weird, obviously. Every team needs Saudi players. The Saudi clubs don't want to sell their Saudi players between one another. So it does feel like free transfers is often the way to get in the good Saudi talent for a reasonable price. At the same time, though, I would have liked to maybe step up the quality, but with our current spending, it's just not possible. In spite of that, though, this season is still very much going to plan. Like I said, we are top of the league. Even if we lose this first game today, we will still be top. Al Rayyan, not the easiest game in the Cup to follow things up. Of course, we lost to them very recently in the league. This is only the 5th round of the competition. If we just look at things here, there would still be a quarter-final, semi-final, and final to win. It's a bit of a shame that we're having to play one of the big dogs so soon. But you know what? You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to beat those big dogs if you want to win the cup. And well, we also need to beat them if we want to win in the league. Al-Shabab, only one defeat to their name. They're kind of one of the favourites for the title for a reason. I feel like beating them at home, having beaten them away, would be a really good achievement. In terms of team selection news, I mentioned Al-Rashidi on international duty. Ibrahim Mohammed was suspended after his recent red card and actually needs a rest. He is also on international duty right now with Iraq. I assume it's the Asian Cup or something going on. And in fact, if you look at Al-Shabab's team, they've actually got a few players on international duty as well. So maybe this is an okay time to be playing them. In terms of our team, though, nothing too crazy going on here. Al-Shabab is going to come in and play as that defensive midfielder, filling in the slots of Ibrahim Mohammed. The rest of the team is at full strength. And you'll note there's loads of those big, sexy green links between all the players. Hakami, of course, stepping up and playing in gold for us today. Was first choice all of last year. I like him a lot. Hopefully he's going to be up to the task. Oh, and if you were eagle-eyed there, you might have noticed he was loan listed and I'd made a promise. I've promised Hakami I'm going to loan him out. That was before the first choice goalie went to the Asian Cup. I'm not going to be loaning him out. He's probably going to cry about it. But you know what? That is future Jack's problem. Current Jack's problem is trying to navigate this result here. We're at full strength, though. They've got a few players missing, although the likes of Esposito and Daramy for them are still in their ranks, and there could be an early chance here. As we head away the initial corner, Martinez, though, keeping it alive. Plenty of players committed to the attack. We've got lots of players behind the ball, but Daramy plays it inside. Effort is blocked. We clear it away. That was kind of half a chance for them there. Valentin Carr has slowed down his goal scoring a little. It'd be great if he could get back into the swing of things today, as we could be called into more defensive action, headed off the head of Daramy, and out for a throw-in. If you were wondering how good players like Esposito are, I mean, here he is. He's only 29, by the way, and he is absolutely quality for this level. I know he's not got a load of attributes that's 16 or higher, but so many 14s and 15s. Very, very well-rounded. And then on the left, they have got Mohamed Daramy, who's now got over 100 caps for Denmark, and he is also rather good. Honestly, I'd probably take a draw from this game. Of course, if they win, Al-Shabab will close the gap on us, and that's really what I'm worried about. Whilst there is a team more directly behind us, they've played 2 games more than us going into this match. I think this team here are the real deal in terms of opposition, having only lost to ourselves in their first half of the season. And I feel like you can't really rely on other teams to do a job for you. It's kind of in our own hands here to try and steal some points away from them, as Trent has an absolute calamity. That was awful. Trent here at right back was mopping up the pieces. Admittedly, Al-Shabab and, well, Omobamidele were not exactly quickly getting into position, but the pass to Omar was awful. Should have just cleared it, and that was self-inflicted. We found ourselves a goal down in this game. I think that might be the first time we're actually behind in a live commentary so far this year. We've done 4 rather challenging matches in episodes, and in all of them, we've actually managed to win. We've been on a really good live commentary run. I want to keep that going if we can here, and we need Trawali maybe to bring that attempt to keep the run going to life. He switches it over to Onana, of course. He's playing a more inverted role as Trawali continues to play as the winger, cuts inside. Usman Trawali, you are a beautiful gentleman. I very, very nearly considered replacing him during the January window, thinking, could I get a sexier foreign-wide player on that left-hand side? But he's just too consistent to consider replacing. I'll be honest, he's been absolutely different gravy. I'll fully admit it, in terms of attributes, there are better players out there, but with his pace, his acceleration and agility, out in those wide areas, he is just so, so good. Anyway, we got an equaliser. There is actually immediately a highlight here. If they now just go up the other end and score, that will really make my blood boil. But we haven't had that happen yet. Mark's still playing that inverted wing-back role at left-back. I feel like I've not uttered his name much, although he did just give away the ball there. Generally speaking, he's been quite good in that left-back area. Hopefully, unlike Trent, his mistake isn't going to directly lead to a goal. And in fact, we've won it back here, and Trawali is on his bike on the left-hand side. Darwin bringing it out really nicely. Onana looking to bring it forward, dispossessed. And now Trent out of position. I know his legs have gone a little bit. He's a bit old in this universe. He's got to chase back. Omar wins it back really nicely. Omar, by the way, our young centre-back, called up for Saudi Arabia recently. And having got that tackle, we're now up the other end. Trawali's bringing it forward. There's options in the middle. Carr is one of them. He's missed a sitter. He has missed a sitter. It falls to Sabai, and he hits it over 2. I did mention earlier Carr's slump in form. I think he's got 4 goals in his last 6 league games, which by all accounts is a great record. But at one point he was averaging a goal a game. For a moment I thought he was going to head it in as if he'd heard me there. Instead, the keeper has plucked it out the air. There's 5 minutes left of this half, And while either team will back themselves maybe to get their noses ahead with any one opportunity. There's been a few chances either way. Omabamidele there wins the header, but he's not really got it away from danger. And now it's Madrashi running straight into Mark. And now it's Solis, maybe to make something happen here. Omar, I mentioned, he's been playing for Saudi Arabia. Really, really exciting for the teenager to make that step up. We've not had that many players play for Saudi Arabia yet. I'm hoping that will change as the season goes on. As we bring it forward again here, Carr skips past his man. Oh my word, what a finish that is. It's his 20th of the season. We are still in January. Was it Onana with the assist? I think it was. Onana's little touch there was great. First touch pass, difficult one. Carr skips past his man. And then this finish here, just tidily rolls it into the bottom corner. There's only actually been 4 shots on target in this game. 3 of them have resulted in goals. It's not been a game of goalkeeping, but at the break, we are ahead. Very, very happy with that. I always feel like I don't really want to change too much tactically in a game like this. We've created a fair amount. It's not like they've created a ton either. I suppose when I say we've created a fair amount, we've created more than they have. The game's been bogged down in the midfield, and it no longer is bogged down in the midfield. That's been tucked in. There's question marks over an offside here for Sufjani. Was he on? Is this going to count? I think it's going to count. That was a weird goal. It was a set piece that found its way to the edge of the area. Daramy, then Martinez. Was this a shot or a pass? Was he actually onside there? That genuinely looked offside. I would love to see the lines drawn. The game's not drawn them. I'm going to choose to believe that means he was offside. Okay, Darwin's not at the best of games here. We're going to bring in Al-Khani and play him on the last man, I think. Elsewhere, I feel like this could be the kind of game that's made for Jimmy to come in out on the left-hand side and flex his physicals. Sabai's not at the best of games at defensive midfielders. So you know what? We'll bring in Waleed to play that defensive midfielder spot. It's a position I feel like he can play pretty well as a backup. Triple change made. Let's shout some words of encouragement. I said going into this I'd be happy with a draw. Having got ahead in the game, it's always a bit gutting to then go behind. But I do stand by that initial statement that, you know, if we could do anything in this game, get any kind of points, I'd be happy. They've not had a load of shots. We've not had a load of shots either, to be honest. And with 10 minutes left, feels like a game that could just end up fizzling out. We'll do one last shout of demand more. It's not the kind of game where I'm going to throw men forward and change things too radically. I kind of am happy to see this out as things stand. There is 1 minute remaining in this game. 3 minutes of added time. Is there to be any late drama? No. Last time we played them, we scored in the 93rd minute. Darwin it was on that occasion. He wasn't on the pitch to score that time. And instead, we have to settle for a share of the spoils. But they've only lost once all year. To draw against them, I can't really be that upset about. The only bad news, Al Fire just beat Abha 3-0 and are now equal on points with us. They have played 2 games more. Our goal difference is 20 better. But I'm still annoyed they've won. Now, in terms of upcoming games, we actually have Altai, who you might remember we played on the opening game of the season and beat 7-0 in our very next game. Not expecting us to batter them again, but they are down in 15th. So instead, full focus is going to be on the Kings Cup. In 8 days' time, we're taking on Al Rayed. They beat us recently in the league. They're a solid little outfit. This is not going to be easy. What's deadline day without a little bit of drama? Yeah, I didn't realise the second game of today's episode is happening on the 4th of February, which is deadline day in Saudi Arabia. No idea why, it's the middle of February. Al-Atabi has requested a transfer. A man who I've actually given 9 appearances to this year. He's just not been happy that I've not been playing him. Although I have been playing him, and he's not been scoring. The thing I love about this, he's handed in a transfer request on deadline day, and then Darwin Núñez has piped up, saying that he wants Al-Atabi to stay out of self-interest, but felt that we were on the verge of something special. I love this idea that in this universe, by 2035, Darwin Núñez has mellowed out into this sensible human being. It'd be a great redemption arc, wouldn't it? That said, though, there is a little bit of drama going on deadline day. Waleed kicked up a stink about wanting to leave, and then when I received a £5 million bid for him, I kind of felt like maybe I should just let him go. We've got an abundance of talent that can play in that defensive midfielder position if needed. And truthfully, the 21-year-old has perhaps kept some other younger players like Al-Shankiti here out the first team unjustly. And I feel like £5 million to this guy is just too much to refuse. So that deal, very likely to go through before today is done. Oh, of course, there was also one league game since that last match. Hakami in goal got man of the match for us as we won 2-1. Not convincing against Altai, who we beat 7-0 before, but good to get the result. Also good to see Hakami putting in a top draw performance. Yeah, he was great in this game. And well, as we head into this cup game, we are going to hope that he can repeat his antics again, because he is going to be between the sticks, because Al-Rashidi is still on international duty. You might notice in amongst all the players kind of not on the bench, there's a lot of unhappy players and players kind of leaving on free transfers. Al-Dasari's announced he's going to leave at the end of next year. I'll probably just keep him around as a useful utility man who can play left back and right back until his contract runs down. Have found it a little bit challenging this year with all the new talent that we brought in to kind of appease the older players. But frankly, what we're doing is working, and I don't really want to compromise the team playing these weaker players, just because they might cry a little. In terms of team news, it's a cup game. We're going all out, obviously. We want to win the Saudi Kings Cup if we can, get the 500 miles. Suppose that's reflected in a full strength 11. Okay, firing up the players for this game. This is a team that beat us in the league not that long ago. I would love to set the record straight. And when you look at this team, I think we have to be favourites at home. They are playing a very, very defensive shape. They're playing a 3-4-1-2, which I don't necessarily love playing against, but I feel like we can maybe break it down with the attacking talent we've got. Darwin drops deep as the complete forward. Gives it to Trawali, who will find himself a little isolated with Mark on the inverted wing-back role. Doesn't matter if he's isolated. He can still put the ball in. It's another goal for Carr. What I was going to mention here is with Trawali, obviously, we've got Mark inverting into the midfield. Looks almost isolated here, the winger. Turns on the afterburners, pulls across multiple defenders, sneaks in at the near post. Great little finish. Having lost in the semi-final of this competition last year, with all the new talent we brought in, I am really, really hoping that we can secure a trophy in this competition this year. Trent hits the woodwork. Mohamed rebound. Was he not fouled? Apparently not. He's just completely missed the rebound. I mean, Trent still got it, trying to keep maybe the threat alive. Solis, back to Mark. Mohamed, edge of the box. Oh, no. Oh, my word. Oh, I mean, what about that for a strike? I really thought the initial highlight, just the free kick hit in the post, was going to be it. That's the kind of highlight in Football Manager where sometimes in the commentary I just stop commentating it so I can just cut out the dead air when nothing happens. Something did happen there. What a stupendous goal. 2 goals up. Praise the players. This is going very, very well. Trent is over a corner. Players in the middle. I'll tell you what, that was not far away. I think Carr just hit the woodwork. Only 10 minutes left of this first half. They have not had a shot on target. In fact, they've not had a shot full stop in this game. It has been absolutely one-way traffic. You could say get it because we've got Carr up front. One-way traffic. Okay, you know what, let's move on. Carr wins the header. We can't move on. He's always on the ball. Solis looking to get it forward. Trawali is there. Solis is going to kind of move into the wider area as the Segundo Volante. Doesn't quite work out for him on that occasion. Hien for them clears it forward. They've actually got a fair few players forward here. Al-Rashidi, dispossessed by Omar, who continues to chase the ball, but does not win the foot race. Now it's going to be whipped into a space where you'd love to see, well, our man in there. Omar was caught out of position. Marks headed it away. We nearly conceded from absolutely nowhere, and with only 1 minute left of this first half, we might not be done yet, ladies and gentlemen. If you were getting up to get your halftime burger or your halftime Heineken Zero, because of course we can't have alcohol here, don't go anywhere, because there might be more. Oh my word, Trent hits the post and it goes wide. The XG story tells the story. We've been the better team in this game. I do feel like Mark on a booking just scare me slightly. We could bring in Sultan to play inverted wing-back. I don't love it as an idea, but I also just don't trust my own son. Does feel like we're in control of this game. They're playing such a defensive shape and just creating very little, despite having their fair share of the ball. I say that, actually. Possession has swung further in our favour, I feel like, as this game has gone on. Still yet to have a shot on target, although they've had a couple of extra shots in this game thus far. But from a defensive point of view, it's been a near-perfect performance. Sultan slotting into the team. Let's see what the youngster can do. Gives it to Trawali. Solis now going to step up and bring the ball forward. Onana, options inside. Darwin is one of them. He timed his run, I was going to say to perfection, actually. It was offside. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Darwin's not had the best game in this game here. You know what? Al-Khani on you come. Carr will move to complete forward, which is a role he's still pretty good at. Okay, 25 minutes left. That is not the best of free kicks. It could leave us a little exposed at the back, although Omar picks up the loose pieces rather nicely there. And now we look to rebuild again. Carr dropping in deep, plays it towards Al-Khani, almost a stupendous pass forward. Instead, it might leave us a little open to a counter-attack. Gamadi dinks it. Sadani is surely offside there. Lino? He's got his flag raised. It's not going to count. I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to count. It looked miles off to me, but I've been wrong before. I'm not wrong on this occasion. It is still 2-0. Right, you know, Sabai, I'm going to bring you on at defensive midfielder, and I feel like fresh legs in the wider area are just always nice. Fires is going to come on the left wing. Jimmy's going to come on the right. And I feel bad taking off Onana. You know, I'm not going to take off Onana. We'll take off Carr. That might be controversial. Going to make our final subs now. Loads of fresh legs. I'd love to get the third goal just to put this game beyond doubt. Trent with a throw-in on the far side to Jimmy, who's fresh off the bench and looking to keep it alive. Al-Shabab all the way back to Omobamidele, who's going to play inside to Sultan. Lovely build-up play. Was Jimmy onside there? I think he was. Pulled it back. It's half cleared away. Sultan with... I was going to say the no-look pass. It's hit him on the arse and gone straight to their team, but, well, they're not valuing possession either. They've given it straight back, and now it's Fires bringing it forward. Fresh-legged, all about his pace, gives it to Onana. The ref's going to check this for offside. The linesman hasn't flagged. That's usually a pretty good sign in Football Manager. Fires, he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He can run really, really quick, and on this occasion, he ran really, really quick. And it worked out. He picked up the ball in an area here, knocked it past his man, and pulled it back to Onana. That was a great pass and an even better finish. Right, 3-0. Praise the players. It's done. Clap them off. We'll have more. Trent, give us more. Near post. Headed up in the air. Solis pushed over. Referee. He's given a pen. And unless we're going to have the very rare VAR intervention for a penalty decision, which we're not, there's a chance from the spot. There's no mark on the pitch to take it, so it's going to be Al-Khani to take it. The Saudi forward, our first big splash of a signing back in Season 1, and he makes no mistake from the spot. I did wonder when I saw their three at the back with two defensive midfielders, was it going to be one of those frustrating matches in Football Manager where you can't really break down a team? I'll tell you what, it's been anything but that. We've been all over them in this game, and in fact, we're looking for a fifth. Trent inside, Al-Khani, Solis, Fires. It would have been such a beautiful goal. The movement was superb. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this game. We've had 32 shots. I think it's safe to say that we took out a feat against this team in the league, somewhat personally. That was a mad performance. Onana with a 10.0 rating in this game. He was perfect. We win in the King's Cup. That is really, really nice. Al-Fire, one of our big divisional rivals, won on penalties. And Al-Shabab are also still in the competition. Al-Ettifaq are making deadline day bids for Mark. Go away. Elsewhere, Waleed is leaving the building. £5 million received. I'm not going to sign a replacement defensive midfielder because I think we've got enough players in this part of the pitch. But yeah, $5 million for a player who was threatening to run down his contract. That's kind of fine with me. And if you're wondering who we're going to play in the next round of the King's Cup, we're going to take on Al-Batin, who you might remember as the team that, well, just last video I said, we don't need to worry about them. And then they drew against us. I want revenge when we meet them next time. That game, by the way, is in mid-March, which will be when our youth intake is happening, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I am mistaken. Our youth intake's in April. If you're wondering why I've not mentioned it while we've been in Saudi Arabia, it was absolutely awful last year. Like, it literally wasn't worth talking about. Next time out, we are going to shift our focus to the King's Cup. The quarterfinal and maybe the semi-final await to end the week. I'll see you guys for those ones next time. Thank you so much for watching as always. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.